Hello everyone and welcome to day 2 of the Fort Wayne Indiana Regional Championships. We're starting the top 16 here between James Stumbo on the left and Nathan Heider on the right. I am Kyle Sucevich and we are about to get started here. We have a ton of great players here in the top 16 and this is just one of many great matches we'll have here. So it seems like we'll have James starting off with a Terrakion and Nathan's going to start off with a Darkrai. I don't know too much about what James is playing, but we did see Nathan in the top 32. He was using just a straightforward Darkrai Hydreigon deck, and we'll see if he can take down another Terrakion deck here in this round. He's going to play a Level Ball, which isn't actually a card you see too often in Hydreigon decks. It's very good for boosting consistency, though, 'cause this sort of a thing here where you can just Level Ball for a Dino and just get some more basics into play. A lot of the time you can struggle to get your setup because you don't get enough dinos in play, one gets knocked out, or you just can't search for them quickly enough. So Level Ball definitely helping that out. It's taking a while to make another decision though, so you might not have the greatest hand, or he might have a situation where he's got like a Juniper. I can't really see what he's got, but I'm sure we'll find out in a second. Yeah, it looks like a terrible start actually. He's just gonna pass, no energy drop. But it certainly could just be that thing where he's got a rare candy Hydreigon waiting in his hand, and he doesn't want to Juniper that away. But we'll see next turn. He definitely hesitated. We'll see if that was on purpose or if he really just doesn't have anything. Now James looks like he's just playing a Darkrai Terrakion deck, which is what we've seen a lot more of in the recent tournaments. I mean, near the end of Battle Roads. And especially here, this regional, there are a ton of Darkrai Terrakion decks. Early on, people were just favoring, Hydreigon or even straight Darkrai, but now Darkrai Terrakion is kind of looking like the dominant deck here at the tournament. And we'll see if yet another one can advance. It's taken up a lot of spots in the top 16. A tremendous amount of these decks are Darkrai Terrakion. Interesting things to know, he might be playing Crushing Hammer, he might not be. There are a bunch of different variants, and it looks like he's just going to attach a Fighting and pass. So now it's going to be up to Nathan to get something, and yes, he was just holding on to the rare candy Hydreigon. I think he's probably got a supporter in his hand, looks like a Juniper, and yeah, he was just sitting back on it. He didn't want to discard it, and it looks like that's a great play. I mean, the biggest hurdle with this deck is going to be getting that into play, and now turn 2, he's got it out. He's ready to go, and now the next hurdle is just going to be getting energy in play and surviving the big bad Terrakion. That's what's going to be the big factor in this matchup. Terrakion, of course, it's fighting. Darkrai is weak to fighting. If he can power up that Terrakion, just start land crushing, you can just start taking prizes like there's no tomorrow. Just 180 over and over. And something interesting about Nathan's deck, I don't believe he plays Eviolite. We didn't see it at all in his top 32 match. So his Darkrai's are always going to be in danger of just getting knocked out in one hit, which is no good. But he's going to need to start getting some energy on board. I think ideally he would like to get maybe a Sableye in play, start using Junk Hunt. Even in this situation, you might consider using Confuse Ray, but step number 1's got to be getting energy out there first. Looks like he's thinking about playing the Sableye down. He's got it. He's got a Blend Energy as well. So I've seen some Darkrai Terrakion decks run Crushing Hammer, some run Enhanced Hammer. For the most part, they run some kind of hammer, so that blend is probably not going to stay there forever. And it looks like we got a Confuse Ray, and it's heads, so this is going to be a big flip. It's probably going to force that Terrakion to retreat. It's very risky, and yeah, right there, just Enhanced Hammer right away. It's really painful. Your energy attachment is gone, and nope, he's back to square one. You need 3 energy in play to really do anything. It takes 3 to Night Spear. Takes 4 to Dragon Blast. And, I mean, those are really your only options early on. Late in the game, he's got Shaman EX. He also plays the Goldbreaker Bouffalance, so he'll have plenty of options. Well, we'll see. It's going to be a long game, I think. Just that Confuse Ray is going to slow him down. So we saw yesterday that Nathan ran into a game where his opponent just got a turn to attacking Terrakion with a Land Crush, and it was just... he had to actually scoop because he didn't have anything to fight that off. But I think with that Confuse Ray, he's not going to be in much trouble. Now James, he did attach a Dark to his active Terrakion, and yeah, he's going to have to retreat. See if he does anything else. Maybe he's got an Energy Switch, and yep, he's going to Energy Switch up to the active Sableye. This is really the flexibility that Energy Switch gives you with Darkrai. You get free retreat, you just kind of move the energy around where you need it, and then he can even just junk hunt and get the energy back so that he could threaten a Land Crush next turn if he gets another fighting. So just take a retreat for free, gets the Energy Switch again, and then another fighting, and then he can start knocking out Darkrai's. And this is exactly what Nathan's got to be afraid of. I mean, this is what Terrakion offers you. You know, you don't have the Hydreigon at your disposal, you don't have the max potions, but you get the big power hit with Terrakion. So he's going to junk hunt, he gets back a catcher and an Energy Switch, and these are like the two scariest cards that you could ever see. I mean, just catcher to get your Darkrai, and then Energy Switch to move an energy to your Darkrai, and then, yeah, that's 2 prizes down the drain right away. So Nathan's going to try to buy some time here. This is a smart play. He brings out Darkrai. He realizes that James is going to be limited. He probably won't be able to Night Spear this turn, and still no energy, no supporter from Nathan. So this is a really bad hand. This game could really get out of control very shortly if James can manage to get something going. Even just a quick Night Spear or a Land Crush as well. It's going to be tough to do that this turn since he has to attach to the active Darkrai, or he can Energy Switch. If he has 2 Energy Switches, he could actually... oh, yeah, he's sending up that Terrakion. So he might have it. He's got 2 Energy Switches. Wow. This is huge. He's going to catch out that Darkrai, and he is just going for it. Does he have the fighting, though? He's got a potion as well, so he's got all sorts of tricks up his sleeve here. You do see an Ultra Ball. He's going to discard a Random Receiver and another Ultra Ball. This might just be to thin cards out of his deck. And let's see. Yep, he's going to get another Terrakion. So I don't know how I feel about benching that other one. In this situation, it's probably not going to hurt him because you're not going to really be able to stall for time against this. And I mean, this Terrakion's going to get way out of control in just 2 or 3 turns. If you don't knock this thing out, it just knocks out everything. The Land Crush takes 2 prizes on your Darkrai. So this is so huge. If he gets a fighting, this is going to change the game completely. The difference is taking 2 prizes or just using Retaliate for 60. So did James get the fighting energy? Looks like he hasn't slammed it down right away, so I'm going to assume he doesn't have it. He plays a Dark Patch. And nope, another Dark Energy. So Nathan can breathe in a sigh of relief. It's like, oof, my Darkrai lives. But, you know, he still doesn't have anything. Looks like he's got a max potion. No real point in playing that unless he's gonna Juniper. Can't really see what he has. So he is gonna max potion. Still no energy, it looks like. And that's painful. Oh, he did top deck a Juniper, so that is a really, really big card to draw there. Finally gets a supporter. Now there was that little lull there where he missed some draw cards. So, man, is he going to get some energy out? I mean, the bad part was the only energy he's attached was a blend, which got Enhance Hammered immediately. His opponent's just like, ha, nope, no special energy on your field, buddy. This is all basics or nothing. My hammer is enhanced take down your special energy. But now we're going to see a Junk Hunt from Sableye. He's just going to retreat for free and then move the energy up with Hydreigon, Dark Trance. And he'll be able to get 2 item cards back. Now he'll probably get maybe a Max Potion, some Catcher, something like that. He's going to stall for some time. This is why benching the Terrakion is not the greatest. If he could have got the second fighting on that Terrakion last turn, it would have been fine. But now he's put himself in an awkward spot where Nathan's actually able to buy some time. James has already used 2 energy switches. And in order to actually pull off a worthwhile attack, he's going to have to attach the Dark to the active and then the retreat and energy switch for a Night Spear. So that seems really unlikely at this point. He's already used 2 energy switches. He probably doesn't have all those cards, so he probably... I mean, this start looked very scary for James. He had so much for him. And just, he missed a few little cards here and there. And now it's not looking so hot. So, I don't know, we'll have to see what happens here. There's still plenty of game to go. We do have 75 minutes here in the top cut here at Fort Wayne. So, oh, he does play Crushing Hammer as well, so there are a lot of hammers in his deck. It's interesting that he's actually been able to fit all these cards in his deck. You know, he's got Crushing Hammer, Enhanced Hammer, Potion. What does this guy not have? I mean, he made it through the deck check, so it's 60 cards. It's legal, but I don't know. Maybe he snuck one past the judges there. I don't know how you fit all 60 cards into this one. But yeah, once again, Nathan was able to slow James down with those catchers because James just kind of overextended, put down too many Pokemon. He's giving Nathan a chance to set up. And that's exactly what he doesn't want to do. He does not want Nathan to get all of his stuff into play. I mean, if he can start getting enough energy in play to use Hydreigon, and start Dragon Blasting these Terrakions, that's really going to be what he needs to do. And the one card that plays a huge role in this matchup is going to be Shaman EX. When you get down to 1 prize, the Shaman EX is just such a huge card to have. Just Revenge Blast for 180 destroys everything in play. I've seen just 6 prize comebacks. I mean, or it's 6-1, and someone just Revenge Blast for all their prizes with an N, and then just knock out, and then they get a Max Potion, then they knock out, and it's just game over. So anything can happen. This game is not over until James takes all 6 of his prizes. So we do have another Juniper from Nathan. I believe that's the 3rd one he's played this game. Maybe only 2. I think 2 and 2N. So, you know, for all the supporters he's played, he's really not gained much ground. He hasn't gotten a whole lot out. He stalls for more time, gets another Darkrai in the active spot with another catcher, and I mean, he's doing a good job of buying time. This is the one thing that James kind of screwed up on so far. He just benched too many things without energy, and Nathan just kept junk hunting for catchers, trying to buy time, because he knows, all right, you have to attach to your active retreat, and nothing on your field has enough energy to actually use a big attack. So maybe James would have been better off in these turns just like attaching a 3rd energy to a Darkrai at some point so that his next thing doesn't just get catchered out. That way he has something with 3 energy to attack, and then, I mean, then he can be able to attach to the active. At this point, I mean, now all of his things pretty much have energy on them, but just looking back, that's something to think about. Just want to take a second to kind of acknowledge the field here. There were a ton of Worlds competitors here, just world-class players. We had Jason Kozinski, 2-time world champion. He lost in the top 32. Ross Coffin, who is still playing, 2-time Worlds finalist. We have Jay Hornung, he's still in as well. 2-time Worlds top 4 and Nationals top 4 and Nationals finalist. And, you know, just all sorts of great players here. And Nathan's actually the one who took down our undefeated player yesterday. So he's on a roll now. I mean, he squeaked in at the 32nd seed, took down the number 1, and we'll see if he can continue his magical run. You know, it looked really bad for him in the early parts of the game, but he's starting to kind of slowly set up, and if he can set up with no prizes lost, or just like 1 prize lost, he's going to be in fine shape. Now we do see, looks like another N. This one's going to come from James. He's going to be going for an energy switch or a dark patch this turn so he can finally get an attack off. It's painful to see all those energy on his board, and he just hasn't been able to attack. But he plays a crushing hammer, gets tails, finally gets the heads on the crushing hammer. It doesn't really matter which one he gets rid of, unless he's going to take the knockout on the Sableye, then obviously you discard it from the bench, Hydreigon. Otherwise, Dark Trance just moves your energy around. So, once again, looks like James is unable to attack. This is really devastating. He had such a strong start, it looked like, but he benched one too many Pokemon. He just didn't draw another energy switch. Nathan just kept using Catcher. And now, we're here, and nobody has even taken a prize yet. But I'm sure this is going to, just come to a head at some point. We're going to have Terrakion just taking out Darkrai's Hydreigon, responding to the Terrakions, and, some stuff's going to go down pretty shortly. And we finally do see a Dark Patch from James, and, that was actually a poor decision on the Crushing Hammer then. He had that energy on the Hydreigon, I think, and opted to discard the one on Sableye instead. That is a huge mistake that could end up kind of coming into play here. Obviously you want to take both energy out of play. Who knows what can happen now that there's an energy sitting there. It opens the door for all sorts of possibilities. So we do see a second Hydreigon. Really, Nathan's gotten everything he could ever want in the Pokemon area. It's really just energy where he's lacking. And those Terrakions are looming threats. The one has a fighting and a dark on it already. Just one more fighting and Land Crush. He's going to start taking out Darkrai's here. And this is really, I don't know how you deal with this if you're Nathan. Again, I don't believe he plays Eviolite. So all of his Darkrai's just get knocked out one hit by Land Crushes and retaliates, which is devastating. Just to instantly lose a Darkrai and 2 prizes and 3 energy. That's why you play Eviolite. You want to have your Darkrai survive as long as possible, but Nathan has chosen to, forego the Eviolites for more consistency cards. We saw him play Level Ball earlier. And, that's kind of the trade-off, I guess. But he's got a weird decision here. He doesn't know what he wants to do. He doesn't have enough energy to attack, so he kind of wants to retreat to something. He's going to retreat to his other Hydreigon. It's got 30 on it already. He probably thinks, I'm going to have to max potion that anyway. What's the big deal? And, yeah. Now, James, he does not have... He has 1 card in his hand. So he's really got nothing to work with. There was a chance he didn't even have energy there, but he looks like he top-decked that energy switch. So Nathan could make some sort of a comeback just because James has nothing in his hand. Still going to be tough, though. A lot of things that Nathan has to dodge here. And he hasn't even gotten 3 energy in play yet. So we'll see what happens this turn. James is just going to Night Spear. He's going to target down the Hydreigon. So we got 90 on one, 30 on the other. He realizes that these are the big threats, and if he can take them out of play, all Nathan has left is fighting weak Pokemon. And then that's where Terrakion comes in, and he seals the deal. We do see a Dark Patch in Nathan's hand, so he'll be able to at least get 1 energy in play. Maybe he'll be able to get an attack off finally. That's not Junk Hunt. We could see him Gold Breaker with Bouffalot possibly for 120. That way, if James does get Terrakion powered up with another fighting, he won't have to worry about giving up 2 prizes. It'll just be the 1 for Bouffalot. We see another Juniper from Nathan. So both these guys' decks are starting to get a little thin. James, it looks like he's got quite a few more cards than Nathan, but Nathan, he opted to Juniper, discarding an N. He realizes, nope, I'm not giving you that fresh new hand for no reason. And I'll see what he draws here. He did have a Dark Patch, I believe. He did play it. So he gets to attach an energy still. What's he going to decide to go with, though? He could decide to Night Spear, which would be kind of risky if James, top decked away into a fighting energy. And he could just land Crush for 2 prizes, take out 3 energy. So maybe Gold Breaker is a little safer, or he might just go with a Junk Hunt this turn, which it looks like he might. He's going to give up a prize, but he's going to get back 2 items, probably some max potions, and yeah. I like what Nathan's doing with his energy. This is something a lot of people overlook. He's moving all of his energy to Hydreigon because he realizes there's no way this thing's getting knocked out. James doesn't play any Pokemon that do 120 damage, so my energy are all safe here, whereas all my other Pokemon are potentially knocked out by a catcher and then either Terrakion or Darkrai. So we do see Sableye here. A lot of people overlook the fact that Sableye can just be used to come out in the middle of a game and get back some crucial cards like max potions. Sometimes it's just worth giving up the prize to, get your max potions back and make sure your big guns stay out there. Let's see. So James, he's still only got 2 cards. He's got a whole lot of nothing. And all he can really do is Night Spear. He could retreat and then Junk Hunt if he wants to, but that would kind of be letting up on the pressure. He's just trying to take advantage of the situation and try to press on his lead. Maybe he'll just take the knockout and get a prize here to get an extra card and still keep the pressure on. Looks like he's got a card he's contemplating using, and he's actually going to bring out a Darkrai. It's an interesting choice. He could have catchered out a Hydreigon and knocked it out. Instead, he's going to hit a Darkrai for 9. Oh, actually, that did knock it out. Sorry, it already had 120 on it. So, interesting that he passed up a 2-prize turn on a Sableye and Hydreigon and kept an energy in play as well, knowing that Nathan got a max potion back, because that Darkrai's just going to get healed right off. You might think he missed an opportunity to just take a free prize there, but we'll see. Something I don't know if Nathan plays is Mewtwo. That could come into play at some point if he gets enough energy in play. Just, you go all in, shove all your energy on a Mewtwo and X-Ball, maybe knock out a Darkrai in 1 hit. That would take 7 energy on his board, I think, if you factor in the resistance. So we'll see if that comes into play. I don't think he plays it. He didn't show it at all in the top 32 match. And he's just grabbing another Darkrai here, which, now he's got 3 Darkrai's in play if he plays that down. And, he still hasn't dealt with the Terrakion. He really just hasn't done damage this game. But he's finally going to catch out Terrakion. I think he's going to go for a Dragon Blast this turn. Looks like he's got the Blend. And let's see. He's got 30 damage on the Hydreigon already. It's pretty much safe. But, we did see James. He's already played, I think he's played all 4 Crushing Hammers. He does play Enhanced Hammer. He's already played one of those. So maybe the Blend is safe for now. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out on James' turn. But we're going to see that Terrakion with the fighting go down. Nathan realizes, alright, I can't let these things stay in play. If I just keep it down to Darkrai's, then I can max potion my way to victory. and I'll have Buffalon there to clean up the mess. But as long as Terrakion's out there, I cannot feel safe about attacking with my Darkrai's. But will James ever draw another supporter? It's been a while. He's got another catcher. Wow, that's a huge catcher to have. He's going to be able to Night Spear for the knockout. I could see Nathan was just holding on to his max potion for the Hydreigon, so he could heal that off. He's like, if this gets knocked out, whatever, I'll live with it. He realizes he needs to keep that Hydreigon alive in order to compete in this game. So, we'll see what happens. We're surely going to see a max potion here. He needs to get some more energy in play if he wants to keep using Dragon Blast. And he's going to need another catcher if he wants to take out the other Terrakion. And then he can just start attacking with his Darkrai's and with Buffalon as well. And he'll really probably feel comfortable to start making a comeback here. James still has to take 2 prizes. So he has to knock out an EX basically to win. So at some point we could just see Nathan junk hunt again for 2 max potions after he takes the Terrakion out of play, and give up the prize, and then just, attack with stuff and never give up another prize. So I really don't think Nathan is in a bad position at all, even though he's down 3 prizes. If he can manage to take that Terrakion out of the game, I think he'll be in good position to make some sort of a comeback here. And like I said, Shaman EX could also come into play. The blend is on his board. If James gets down to 1 prize at any point, Revenge Blast is just going to clean up and take everything out. So a lot of game left to be played here. Of course, at some point, if Terrakion can get a Retaliate and knock out a Darkrai, that's going to be bad news. But at that point, who cares? You've lost. So I'm not sure what kind of decision Nathan's making here. He's taking a while. Looks like he's going to retreat a Night Spear. This means he does not have a catcher. Or he's going to Gold Breaker with Buffalon. I like that a little better. There's really no way Terrakion can attack this turn with Land Crush because it doesn't have a fighting on it. And I don't know if he just doesn't have a max potion in his hand or if he just decided not to use it, but it's going to be big. He's got 60 on the Hydreigon. James has used a lot of catchers, so maybe he's out of them already. But it seems like a risky play to hold on to a max potion if you haven't played it already. Maybe I'm mistaken and he has played it already, but I know he junk hunted for one and I don't think he ever played it. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe he knows something I don't. Maybe James is out of catchers or something like that. This is going to be a really tight finish, and I like what James is doing here. He's going to retreat to Sableye and say, you know what, I've exhausted way too many resources. I need to be able to get some of these back so I can start to at least threaten like a catcher knockout. He's got a Juniper as well, so he's finally getting a supporter. And something interesting I'm seeing from James, maybe why he can fit all these cards, is I haven't actually seen him play an Eviolite yet. So that's maybe how he fits all these Crushing Hammers, Enhanced Hammers, Potions. He's got all sorts of tricks up his sleeve, but no Eviolite. So this just makes it even easier for that Shaman EX to come in at the end. And Revenge Blast for just knocking out everything. Maybe Nathan last turn should have just retreated and used Junk Hunt to get a catcher and maybe like a max potion. You don't mind giving up that prize because James still has to take one more. And then it makes your N that much stronger if you can get one. So this is kind of a weird spot. It's basically going to be if Nathan... Oh, and there's an Eviolite, so never mind on that. He really just is playing like 65 cards, I swear. Somehow he made it past the deck check. We got a potion. going to bring that Darkrai down to 90. That's not really that impactful. And, alright, so he's going to Junk Hunt for catcher, and looks like a random receiver as well. So Nathan now, he really cannot take a prize unless it's going to be to knock out Terrakion. If he does, it's just retaliate and the game ends, pretty much. So he needs to get a catcher here. And also, it looks like James got an Eviolite on his Terrakion, which will prevent Hydreigon from using Dragon Blast to knock it out. It'll be 10 short now. So he's really going to need to get Shaman EX out there if he can find it. Maybe it's prized. I know he does play it. It might actually be in his hand. I can't tell. But he's going to need to start doing that soon. He needs to get a catcher. So if he doesn't have one, he's got to just retreat and Junk Hunt this turn. He's got no other option. And he's going to put down another Dark. I'm going to move the blend to Sableye and, yep, Max Potion. I'm thinking this means, oh, he's going to attach the Max Potion. That'd be pretty powerful. I'm thinking this is going to mean he's going to retreat and Junk Hunt this turn. Maybe just get a Max Potion and a catcher. It's going to be really tough for James to take these last two prizes unless he can retaliate for them. So he's going to retreat, and yes, we're going to see a Junk Hunt. I like this. This is very well played from both these guys so far. And Nathan's showing us how he got here, how he took down the #1 seed. He's really doing a good job here. And he's going to Junk Hunt. He recognizes, you know what, I can give up this prize. I'm not at any danger. Gets back a Max Potion and a catcher. So how is James going to respond to this? Clearly he's going to Night Spear. I mean, he doesn't really have anything else to do. In a perfect world, he would get a Fighting down on his Terrakion this turn so he can threaten a Land Crush for the game next turn, because really, Darkrai cannot knock out anything on Nathan's field besides that Sableye. He can take the one prize this turn, and then he'll be down to one where, I mean, if he just knocks out one more thing, he wins the game. But Darkrai is going to struggle against these Max Potions after this Sableye gets knocked out. Bouffalant, you know, it's got the Boofer ability. It makes it tough to really knock out with Darkrai, because you can't really put 30 on it with Night Spear. It just does 10, then you do 70. So it looks like he's actually going to Junk Hunt again for an Enhanced Hammer, and couldn't see the second card, maybe a Crushing Hammer, which is actually a really strong play. I do like that. He realizes, alright, I need to get the blend out of play, because if I could stop you from using your other attackers, then I'm going to end up winning. So this turn, I think Nathan just needs to, you know, catch around Terrakion. Maybe he can either... Oh, there's the Shaman. There we go. This is exactly what he needs. He's going to catch around Terrakion, and the Pain Train is coming. Here is Shaman EX. He wants revenge for all the guys that Terrakion took out already. And he's going to Revenge Blast for about 800 damage, because Terrakion's weak to grass. And looks like they're having some kind of a dispute here. Not sure what it's about. But yeah, he's going to take the Terrakion out of play, and now we're at an interesting situation. The one thing that's bad about Shaman is that it's got 110 hit points. So Nathan's just going to have to just Max Potion that thing every turn. Otherwise, it's just a catcher away from being knocked out, and that's game over. But he's getting to a point where all he has to do is knock out 2 more Darkrai's, and he's going to win the game. So this is really getting close. And I mean, James is starting to power up some more Darkrai's. Gets a Fighting in play. He's got to be out of Terrakions at this point. Most people only play 2. Let's see what happens. Looks like James is going to catch her out that Sableye. I do like that play. He's going to Energy Search. He's running really low on cards. That could be a problem. So let's see. He's going to Night Spear and do 30 to Shaman. I do really like that play. He's going to take the one prize and just soften up the Shaman. And now he's just saying, you know what? catcher, and it's game. He's used a lot of catchers, but if he has one more, that's going to be the game. And Nathan, I mean, what do you do? He's just going to put up the Shaman EX. If he runs like a Tool Scrapper and gets a blend here, that would be a huge play, but he needs a max potion to heal it too. But if he runs Tool Scrapper, now would be the time to bust that out and just Revenge Blast for 180. Even a catcher here would be big to catcher that Darkrai on the bench with no Eviolite. With the 2 energy, he could Revenge Blast that one for a knockout. So at this point, he really just kind of needs 2 catchers to pull this one off. Or just hope that James doesn't get another catcher. Looks like James is a little flustered. I don't know why that would be. He seems to be in a good position, but I don't know how many catchers he's used. If he's used all 4, then I can see why he'd be upset at this point. Because I don't think he can actually win at that point if he's used all 4. I mean, he would have to use Junk Hunt. But it looks like Nathan is afraid of the catcher, so James must have one left. And now he's just going to retreat, and we're going to have a Night Spear this turn. I would hope there's a catcher to go with this, because he's only doing 70, and yes, there is a catcher. So this is going to be really, really close to finish this off. Going to have a Night Spear, put 30 on that Darkrai without the Eviolite. And if Nathan can get a catcher and a blend, he can Revenge Blast for the game. There's nothing James can do to stop this. There's no way he's going to take a knockout this turn. He's going to Night Spear the active probably and put 30 on the Shaman, and then if he has a catcher next turn, there's no way Nathan can stop him. He would need 2 max potions to heal off both of those things. So this game's going to be decided within the next 1 or 2 turns here. See an energy search from James. He gets another Dark. Running low on cards, but that's not really going to matter. This game's going to be over before he can deck out. Well, unless he plays that Juniper in his hand. Then it would be over. But I think we'll just see Night Spear. And it really just comes down to Nathan needs like a blend, or he needs James not to have a catcher. So he's taking a look at the discard pile. I didn't see how many catchers are left, but if all 4 are in there, James definitely should just use his turn to Junk Hunt. But otherwise, Nathan might make a big comeback here, and he's just going to Night Spear the active for 90, hit the Shaman for 30, and this is going to be a huge turn. Can he pull off the miracle? The blend and the catcher would be the game for a Revenge Blast. He doesn't have many cards left in his deck. Maybe he's going to play the Ultra Ball, see what he's got in there. There is a blend. I don't know if there's a catcher. Does he have a supporter too? He's got a Juniper. He's got the catcher. Oh, this is it. He's going to draw his whole deck. He's going to get the blend, and what a comeback this is going to be from Nathan. Draws his last blend. He saw it was in his deck, and wow, Nathan will take a huge comeback game 1 with Shaman EX's Revenge Blast. This is quite the matchup here in the top 16, folks. Nathan, he squeaked in. He's the 32nd seed. He took out the undefeated player in Andrew Spencer, and maybe, he's starting to go on a run here. This is the second Darkrai Terrakion deck he's going to be facing, and you can see he's just kind of shaking his head like, whew, that was too close for comfort. He played a really great game there. Pretty flawless, I think, for the most part. I don't think he made any mistakes. He made the right decisions on using Junk Hunt, realizing when he could sacrifice prizes, when he couldn't. And really just, that was a great game to watch. And, this series isn't over. You got to win 2 games to advance. We got 75 minutes, so plenty of time left. Nathan, he got the first one, so he's definitely got the advantage. But James, he really did all that damage without ever getting a Terrakion powered up. He never actually got a Land Crush or Retaliate off, I don't think. Most of his prizes just came by knocking out a Darkrai with 2 Night Spears. He knocked out a bunch of Sableyes. He knocked out a Hydreigon. Those were his 5 prizes. So if he can get Terrakion into play this time, it can be a completely different game. So, I mean, we can see anything happen in this matchup. Yesterday, a similar thing happened where Nathan won the first game, and then his opponent Andrew Spencer just got a turn 2 land crushing Terrakion, and the game was over in 4 turns. So that could happen as well. There's a lot of dynamics in this matchup. Terrakion versus Darkrai is just always sort of a fragile thing. We're going to get set up here for Game 2 from the Fort Wayne, Indiana Regional Championships. This is the top 16. We should have plenty of time left. And James, he will choose to go first this game if he is a sane human being. So that's going to be one big advantage for him, being able to go first. And he's going to start with a Terrakion and a Darkrai. Interesting that he would start with a Terrakion. And Nathan is starting with a Darkrai as well. But yeah, usually you would not want to open with Terrakion in any matchup. Maybe he's just got it out there to threaten a turn to retaliate on a Dino, but he is actually just going to pass without a supporter. This is really bad for James. Nathan's going to Catcher and Juniper. He's going to get a fresh hand of 7. I don't think there was a Dark Energy in that hand he discarded, so he won't be able to Dark Patch and get a Junk Hunt off this turn. So he went the more conservative route and just said, I'm going to attach my energy for the turn and not miss an energy drop. He actually retreats to his Dino, which is interesting. And we do see an energy switch and an energy from James. He must have a supporter if he's going to do that. Otherwise, there's no reason to do that. And yep, looks like he drew an N. So he top decks out of that situation. He's got 2 energy on his Darkrai now. I still don't know if I like that play of energy switching. It gets it in your discard pile if you want to Junk Hunt for it, though. The only problem is that Nathan could Catcher out Terrakion now and maybe buy himself a turn. That's really how he stayed in the game the first game. James just benched too many things, and every turn Nathan would just Catcher something out, and then James would have to attach. And he never had 3 energy on a Pokemon to be able to attack, so he had to use his energy on his active to retreat, and then Nathan would just Catcher another one, and James would just attach to the active, and Nathan would Catcher another one, and eventually it bought him enough time to get set up. So if I had to criticize anything about James, it would be he leaves himself open for that quite frequently, it seems like. And I did get the Crushing Hammerheads. We'll see if that ends up impacting things. Maybe Nathan has a Dark Patch. And here we go again with the Catcher. He's buying time very well with these. I gotta hand it to Nathan. He really understands the matchup, but all the amount of understanding does not prevent a bad hand. And I don't know if there's anything he can really do about it here. James, he puts down another Terrakion. He had to because he had to Juniper. He's going to draw 7 cards. And let's see. He's going to need an energy and an energy switch in order to pull off an attack here. Or an energy and a Dark Patch, which he did get. So this is a turn 3 Night Spear, I believe. Maybe turn 2, actually. Or no, this is turn 3. Okay, so he's going to get a Night Spear on the 3rd turn. That's very powerful if you're going first. I think turn 2 Night Spear if you're going second, or turn 3 if you're going first, are both equally devastating. And, he knocks out a Dino, puts 30 on another. If Nathan can't Max Potion or Evolve, another Dino's going down. And this is going to be a quick game, probably. If you can't evolve those things, before your opponent starts Night Spearing, you're just done for. He's going to make the right play here and just retreat, since it's going to get knocked up by Night Spear anyway. Might as well have your Dino take the 90, and your Darkrai takes the 30 instead of the other way around. So, this is going to be probably a quick game. I can't see it going any other way. Yeah, he's going to lose a couple dinos, and I don't think he'll ever get Hydreigon out this game. He could. I've seen stranger things happen, but it's going to be tough. Now, James Ead plays a catcher. I like that play. Puts 90 on the Darkrai and really just puts Nathan on the clock. If he doesn't get another basic out, he is done for. Even if he does, his only source of energy is going to get knocked out by another Night Spear. It's already got 90 on it. It's going down. So, just a poor situation all around. He's already down 2 prizes. He's going to take a look at James' discard pile, but I don't think he's going to find anything that's going to help him there. Maybe if he can take some cards out of there and use them for himself, he might have a shot, but otherwise I don't see it happening. So he's just going to try to find a way out. You know, he's already won the first game. He made the huge comeback in the first one, so he probably figures I could do anything now. Try to get a couple more dinos in play. Maybe he plays 4. A lot of people just play 3. I definitely prefer 4 in the deck because they do get targeted down a lot. But I don't know how many he plays. He puts down a 3rd one, and then an energy on his Darkrai. He retreats to that Darkrai and just passes. So he does give himself a good chance to. I mean, he's giving himself the best chance possible to get in this game, but James makes the right move. He catches out the Dino and takes out the 3rd one. He's going to take his 3rd prize, put another 30 on that Darkrai, and now he's just a couple Night Spears away from a game over. And yeah, Nathan. Oh, I thought he scooped. Well, he probably should at this point, but we'll see what he does. He doesn't even have anything in his hand, I don't think. Even if he did at this point, if a Terrakion gets another fighting, he's done for. Even if it doesn't, he's probably just going to lose to Night Spear. So just keep in mind, this is 75 minutes for the best 2 out of 3, so there's going to be plenty of time no matter what. He does have a Sableye, so he's going to confuse Ray, and looks like he gets Tails, so I think that's going to be just about it for this one. And there's the 3rd energy on Terrakion. That should be a sign, yeah. That's game over. So James will tie the series up at 1-1. We're seeing the inconsistency of the Hydreigon deck show through here. It's a stage 2 deck. It's very clunky at times. So in a best 2 out of 3 series, you're very rarely going to win 2-0. One of the games you're probably just going to not set up like we see there. And, you know, we're going to have an exciting game 3 here. Hopefully it's much like the first one, where it was very back and forth. Didn't know who was going to win. I don't know what to expect from these guys here. They're both, obviously, they've played well. They have great decks. They've made it this far through a field of over 300 players. Just incredibly high numbers for a regional championship. It feels kind of like a mini national championship. I mean, speaking of that, we do have John Roberts II still playing, our current national champion. So it just also speaks to the level of play here. Half of the field remaining are former Worlds competitors or champions of major tournaments. James and Nathan, I don't think they have any major tournament success, at least not that I know of. But you can see Nathan, he understands the game very well. I've been very impressed with his play so far. James, I think he's got a great deck here. He's made a few mistakes here and there, but overall he understands how the matchup should go. His only real mistake has been just benching too many things. But otherwise, it's been a great match. So we're going to shuffle up here for the 3rd game. Who is going to advance to the top 8 here at the Indiana Regional Championships? Anything can happen. we have all sorts of dynamics. Nathan, he runs interesting techs. He runs the Bouffalant and Shaman EX. We see most people run either Sigilyph or Mewtwo, but I don't think he runs either of those. I haven't seen any at all. Surprising that we wouldn't see like a Mewtwo. It's just such a good card, but you know, he's basically saying Bouffalant is better. Something small from Nathan here. He gets to choose who goes first, so you probably shouldn't just bench all those Pokemon. You know, just draw your card, then play them down. You're not going to get end or anything. So it's best not to reveal that information that you started with those cards. Just not the most important thing, but something to keep in mind. Now, he does play a level ball. Probably going to get himself another Dino. You know, these are the 3 Pokemon you want to start with. He's got Sableye, Darkrai, Dino. When you want Sableye for Junk Hunt, you need the Darkrai as your attacker, your free retreat provider, and Dino, of course, you need him to evolve. And yep, he's going to get a second Dino. Does he have a supporter, though? That's going to be the big question. You know, he's played out most of his hand at this point. It's been mostly Pokemon. He's going to want to get an energy drop and a supporter. That's all you can really ask for on the first turn. And yeah, he's got a Juniper, so. He's also got a catcher. It's interesting, James again started Terrakion instead of Darkrai. Maybe he just favors the quick retaliate to knock out a Dino option. And then, I mean, and then he can just kind of threaten a turn 3 Land Crush or something like that. But Nathan's like, you know, I'm not even going to give you that option. I'm going to catch out Darkrai. And I guess that's a good play. The Darkrai is much less threatening when you can't Dark Patch to it and it's in the active spot. And it just makes James have one more card to pull off a quick retaliate. So Nathan, he gets the energy drop that's big. He's got the rare candy at the front, so it means he's going to Junk Hunt for it. Puts down the Bouffalant. You know, the nice thing about the Bouffalant is that you really just can bench it whenever you want. It's not going to be a liability at any point because, first of all, it's just going to get free retreat from Darkrai. It's not an EX, and Darkrai can't even target it down with Night Spear because of Boofer. It only does 10 damage, so Nathan's just kind of freely putting that down. He realizes I'm going to use this pretty much anyway. I'm going to Gold Breaker at some point. So it's just a nice card to get out there. So if you get end, you don't draw into it again. We do see a Dark Patch to the Sableye, fighting on Terrakion. But the big thing I think that happened was Nathan Junk Hunted for a rare candy, which means he's going to get a turn 2 Hydreigon out. And that is the best start you could ever hope for with this deck. I think he already had the Hydreigon in hand. Yep, turn 2 rare candy Hydreigon. That's just the power of Junk Hunt there. He Junipered away that rare candy and just got it right back. He had the Hydreigon in his hand. And now this has got to be scary territory for James. He's already staring down at stage 2. That's the Pokemon he does not want to see out there. We got another catcher. He's actually going to bring up the Terrakion. That is kind of a gamble, I think. You know, if James gets an energy switch and then a fighting, oof, he can start land crushing. So I don't know how I feel about that one. I think Nathan might actually just go for Confuse right here. That's why he did that. Because he's not going to be able to attack with anything else, that's for sure. Unless he gets a couple Dark Patches or something. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his logic is for catching up Terrakion when that Darkrai was just sitting there with no energy. Maybe he just wants to get the hit in on it because he realizes that this really is the key to the matchup. If he can take out Terrakion, then everything else just kind of crumbles. That's really the only thing that puts up a fight against the Max Potions and just, well, Bouffalant too. Let's see what he does. I would assume he has a supporter if he's playing all this stuff. And yep, there's another Juniper. He's going to draw a fresh hand of 7. You know, he could pull off a Night Spear this turn, but I don't think you would even want to. The risk of just getting land crushed and losing all of your energy is way too big. but he's got a Dark Patch. Let's see. What's he gonna? Is he actually gonna go for a Night Spear? Looks like he is taking the risk. Wow. Nathan's like, you know what? Put it all on the line here, folks. You either got the energy switch in the fighting, or you don't, and that Terrakion is going down. So this is going to be the turn that defines the game this early on in the match. If James can pull off a Land Crush here, he is going to be way far ahead. He's going to take out a Darkrai, take 2 prizes, and knock out all the energy from Nathan's field. And there's nothing worse than that. Just being stuck with no energy left in play, and a Terrakion that you can't knock out the next turn. It's got 3 energy on it, ready to just Land Crush another one of your Darkrai's. So this was a huge risk from Nathan, but it's high risk, high reward. The risk, obviously, you pretty much almost lose the game if James pulls this off. The reward, you take out the Terrakion, the one thing that's standing in your way. And I think James, he realizes the situation as well. He knows, oh man, this is such a big turn if I can pull this off. All I need is a fighting and an energy switch, and he can see it. He's already in his head. He's already moving on to the top 8, facing someone else. There's the energy switch. He's got a Juniper. If he gets the fighting, this could be so huge. And you can see Nathan, he's trying to get a read on him, trying to see, did you draw it, did you draw it? It's so nerve-wracking. And I don't think he drew it. He hasn't played it down yet. That's one of those things where if you drew it, you would just slam that on the table immediately and just scream out Land Crush. And I mean, you just take your 2 prizes. That's a situation where you actually just like pick up your opponent's Pokemon and you throw it in the discard pile. It's just that devastating. But that clearly is not going to happen here. He gets a Dark Patch, and he could still pull off an attack here. If he gets an energy switch and an energy, he could Night Spear. But his opportunity was lost there. Now Nathan has got to feel good about himself. He can set up all sorts of plays now with some Night Spears, and looks like James is actually just going to retreat and Junk Hunt here. And that's going to be pretty big for Nathan. Now, he cannot just, you know, Night Spear with the Terrakion waiting there. Otherwise, he's just going to get retaliated. And he's just in the same situation he was before. So he's got to tread carefully here. He's got the catcher. He actually decides to target down the one that's damaged already. I think I actually prefer going after the one with no energy on it. That way you hit that one for 90, you hit the other one up to 120, and you can knock out both at once with a Night Spear. And even if you whiff another catcher and don't pull that off, you at least weaken that Terrakion. You weaken both of them so that they can be knocked out by your Darkrai's. You just put yourself in a position to take both of them out of play at once. But, you know, he's taken kind of the riskier route. He is just saying, you know what, I'm going to take this one out of play. And then if I can get enough energy out, I'm just going to Dragon Blast this Terrakion away. And then, you know, I got the advantage. You no longer have that fighting Pokemon. It's just Darkrai versus Darkrai, except I get to heal my stuff with Max Potion. I'm going to end up winning that battle. So I cannot fault him for this, but it's definitely the riskier route. If James can pull off an energy switch and a fighting and retaliate for a knockout, he's just going to be in a good position still. I don't think Nathan could follow that up and knock out his Terrakion after that. And it's going to start to get scary, but again, he's kind of walking on thin ice here. This is the fragile matchup between Terrakion and Darkrai. Terrakion has a small window to just kind of drop down and get a Retaliate or a Land Crush. But if he stays out there for too long, he just gets knocked out before he can do anything. But James, he just promotes the Terrakion. So he's just saying, you know what? I got it. I'm gonna energy switch, and yeah, he's got the energy switch. Does he have the fighting too? I don't think he does because he didn't have it last time. But oh, he's got an energy search. He must have junk hunted for that, or maybe I missed it. Because he definitely would have played that last turn to attach and land crush. But now this is gonna basically set Nathan back in the Stone Age in terms of energy attachments. He's only gonna have one in play. And this is gonna be prime time for Crushing Hammer to shine through. You know, these kind of situations are where the Crushing Hammer makes the biggest difference. You knock out the thing with 3 energy, and if you can remove the other energy from play, you are just going to be in a fantastic position with a fully powered Darkrai, or fully powered Terrakion. You can threaten a Land Crush next turn. He's got an N as well. So this whole matchup is going to hinge on, you know, what happens in these next few turns. Of course, we can always see something similar to the last game where Nathan makes a comeback with the Shaman EX. So all sorts of things can happen here, but a lot of big things are happening right now. The biggest one is going to be Terrakion that will knock out this Darkrai this turn. And Nathan, you know, he's got time to kind of sit around. He could junk hunt and then just get back like Dark Patches to get more energy in play. But if he, you know, if James can, you know, get another fighting on the Terrakion next turn and Land Crush for another knockout, all of a sudden he's down to 2 prizes, and it's just an ugly situation. And when you're staring down that Terrakion that has no damage on it, and it's fully powered. So I don't know what Nathan's going to respond with here. If he has like a Blend Energy and a Shaman EX, you might consider just doing it right now. Take the Terrakion off the board, and you know, yeah, he's putting it down. If he's got the Blend, he's just gonna Revenge Blast for the knockout. But he's got to end for it. If he doesn't draw it, of course, this is such a big risk, having that fragile Pokemon in play. It's got 110 hit points, gives up 2 prizes, and you have 2 EXs on your board. So if, I mean, if you whiff the Blend this turn, then James gets a fighting and a catcher and knocks out your Darkrai. He's down to 2 prizes, and then all of a sudden all he's got to do is knock out a Shaman to win the game. That's a terrible situation to be in. But on the other hand, if he gets the Blend, he gets the Revenge Blast, all of a sudden James struggles to even knock out another Darkrai. So it's all going to hinge on this. Does he draw it? And he puts down his Wireless. Does he have the Blend? I don't think he does. I think he definitely would have played it down by now if he had it. Unless he's slow rolling all of us. So now what does he do? Where does he go from here? This is going to be really rough. At this point, he's going to have to just have an endless supply of max potions, because he's going to need to heal up that Shaman. It's just going to get targeted with Night Spear for 30. He does not play Eviolite, so it's going to get hit for 30, and then it's just a Night Spear away from being knocked out. So this is just so close, but so bad for Nathan now. He's going to have to use this turn to junk hunt, and so many things can happen. But James, if he can get a fighting and a catcher here, I think he's going to be in such a commanding lead. But he puts down a Dark, so he doesn't have the fighting. He's going to retreat his Terrakion, and then he's going to Night Spear, Sableye for 90, get the knockout, and then Shaman for 30. So once again here, we need a Blend here from Nathan, because he needs to take that Terrakion out of play. If he can't, he's just going to be in so much trouble. He gets the Max Potion on his Shaman to make sure that that thing doesn't get knocked out by a Night Spear. He's going to Ultra Ball. I don't know what other Pokemon even has left besides Darkrai. I guess another Sableye. But he can't really play that Sableye down anymore. Interesting that he did not get a Hydreigon. that might be prized, and that actually might be like the difference in this game. If he cannot take that Zweilous off his board, that's going to be a catcher prize at some point. And all James has to do then is knock out an EX. And, oh, he does have the Hydreigon, so that was strange that he wouldn't just Ultra Ball for it. I guess he's just thinning out his deck, taking the Sableye. That was a huge risk, but I guess we'll just forget that ever happened. I mean, if that Zweilous never evolves, that's such a big thing to just have a catcher target sitting on your board when all James has to do is take 3 prizes. So now, what does Nathan do here? He hasn't attached for the turn, but he's got a couple dark patches, it looks like. He's got a bunch of energy in play now. If he can get a blend and knock out Terrakion, it's probably the route he's going to go with if he has a catcher. But otherwise, I think he'll probably just go for a Night Spear or... actually, no, I would not Night Spear. I would definitely just Gold Breaker with Bouffalon for 120. You don't want to put your Darkrai in danger for no reason. So, yep, he's going to retreat to the Bouffalon. This is a pretty safe Pokemon to have out there because it only gives up 1 prize. And it's going to need a Land Crush to do that, so James would have to put his Terrakion in harm's way to do it. He puts 120 on the Darkrai. So this game is coming down to the wire. Definitely winding down at this point. It's just all going to come down to powering up Terrakion. Can he pull it off? Can James get catchers? He's going to need a catcher to knock out Darkrai. He's probably going to need another catcher to bring out Shaman at some point. He'll have time. You know, he's in the lead far enough where he can use Junk Hunt, and oh, he actually catches out Shaman EX. Interesting choice. I don't think that's a good decision because at this point you've played 2 games. You're on 3rd. You already know. All right, this guy does not play. He just doesn't play Eviolite, so I don't have to worry about that. Just hitting it for 30 is good enough. So maybe pick something else. You don't need to actually hit the Shaman for 90, but I guess it's going to set it up for a Night Spear for 30, so he doesn't need a catcher. He's going to force Nathan to have a Max Potion to keep the Shaman alive. Otherwise, it's just a Night Spear 30 knocks it out. So maybe that's going to work out for him. And it's going to come down to all sorts of things at this point. James plays a Crushing Hammer. I don't like that. You want to save that for when Nathan plays down his blend. Discarding a basic Dark here does nothing for you. There's already 4 or 5 in play. Save your Crushing Hammer for a time where it's going to be useful. That's just one of those cards where, you know, people see the energy out there. They see the Crushing Hammer. And it's just like, they can't resist. They just have to play it down because there's an energy out there. And they feel so good when they get the heads, but in reality, you should save that for a better time. Nathan at this point, he's got to be feeling a little scared. If he does not have a Max Potion here, I don't know how he actually goes about this. He can retreat and knock out this Darkrai this turn, but what does he do it with? If he knocks it out with his own Darkrai Night Spears, that's no good. If he knocks out with Bouffalon and then it just gets retaliated, then the Shaman just kind of hangs there, and eventually it's going to be a 2-prize game over. But he does have a Max Potion left. It's probably his last one. He's gonna end, I think. And alright, this is huge, guys. If he gets Max Potion, this is gonna be absolutely huge to save his Shaman, and he'll be able to just Gold Breaker for the knockout, tie the game up. He might actually consider just using Darkrai to Night Spear to go down to 1 prize. That way, Revenge Blast will do 180 and just kind of plow through everything on James' field. But this is such a huge draw. Does he rip the Max Potion? Doesn't look like he did. He looks a little disappointed. And now, yeah, I think, what does he do from here? he's definitely got to take a knockout here. He can't. Sableye is out of the question at this point. If he uses Sableye, it's just Night Spear, game over, knocks out the Shaman and the Sableye. So he just got to play with what's in his hand. If he junk hunts, he loses. He's got to knock out this Darkrai this turn, but it's definitely scary for him. I would actually attack with Hydreigon, I think, just so that James needs a catcher to take a prize. Because if you attack with Bouffalant, it just gets retaliated and knocked out. If he attacks with Darkrai, it just gets retaliated and knocked out. But if you attack with Hydreigon, it's got 150 hit points. Doesn't get knocked out. And you force James to have a catcher in order to win the game. And you just end him down to 3. So really your only option is to attack with Hydreigon here. It's either that or, honestly, you could attack with Shaman if you really wanted to. That would probably not be the best idea, but you certainly could do that. The only problem there is that you lose your blend energy, which you're definitely going to need to Dragon Blast at some point. So I would definitely say Dragon Blast is the way to go here. It's painful to lose those 2 energy, but it's really your best hope for winning at this point. But looks like he's going to go for the Gold Breaker. He's going for the gold, but I don't think this is going to pay off. This is so risky. It's just... unless he has a max potion, but he didn't draw it. Alright, this is just risky for a lot of reasons. Number one, he's going to lose 3 energy. That thing's getting knocked out. There's no way around it. So 3 energy down. Number 2, he's going to... this is going to give James a prize. He's going to go down to 2 prizes. And that just means it's a catcher or game over. Or if Nathan doesn't even draw max potion, it's just a Night Spear game over. 30 damage and he's done. So the right play was definitely attacking with Hydreigon there. I mean, he's probably afraid that he's going to lose the 2 energy, but in this situation, you just lose 3 energy instead, and you give up a prize. So that is just not a good situation to be in. James will play an N here. So both players are going to get 3 cards. Nathan, it's really just coming down to, does he draw that last max potion? If he draws it, he'll win the game. If not, he's going to lose it. That's really just all it comes down to at this point. There's 1 max potion. Does he get it? Oh, the enhanced hammer too. That's so big. Oh, he needs a blend now to get the knockout on the Terrakion too. This is another reason why just attacking with Bouffalant there was not the greatest idea. So Nathan here, he's going to need a max potion and a blend to pull this game off. You know, potentially he could live if he just has the blend. And here's a random receiver. Are there even any supporters left in his deck? Last time he revealed a lot of cards and didn't get a supporter. So here we go, he's revealing his entire deck here. Is there a supporter? No! No supporters left. And I mean, you gotta think that's pretty much just gonna wrap it up. Unless he has the max potion and blend in hand. Yeah, he kind of throws his deck out there. He realizes it's pretty much over. He's only got 1 energy in play because of the enhanced hammer, because the Bouffalant got knocked out, and Nathan looks like his run is going to come to an end here. Maybe just attacking with the Bouffalant was the last straw. Oh, he draws the blend. So he's still got a shot at this. If James does not get an energy, Nathan will win, but he's promoting the Darkrai. He must have the energy. There's a random receiver. He might not have it. Oh my god. If he doesn't get an energy here, he could lose the game to a Revenge Blast next turn. That is doing 150. That's just enough to knock out that Darkrai with 30 on it. So this game is not over yet. This is ridiculous. He does get an Ultra Ball, though, so he's going to be drawing a lot of cards. He got the Bianca from the random receiver. He's got no Pokemon to take, so he can't thin his deck out at all. This is it though. Does James draw the energy? He can also get a Dark Patch and an energy switch. That would allow him to Night Spear. He just needs to do 20 damage to win the game. You know, he's gonna Bianca. I think he gets 6 cards actually. So 6 cards. He needs an energy. Does he draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Does he get it? 6 card. Wow, the last card is the energy, and James Stumbo will advance to the top 8 here at the 4-way in Indiana Regional Championship. What a great match that was between these two players. Nathan had a great run there, but at the end, just the Terrakion got him. James got that last energy, and that was just an incredible match between these two players. And I just want to congratulate both guys. They did. I mean, Nathan, he made it through a field of 300 players. He took out the undefeated player in the top 32, and I mean, he put up a huge fight there. He put on a great show, played extremely well, and you know, just got handed to James for hanging in there. Though he definitely had a rough game 1 where Nathan was able to come back, and it was a really devastating loss, I think. But you know, he kept his composure. He won the next 2, and he's going to advance to the top 8. I believe that pretty much eliminates all the Hydreigon decks from the field. We're left with a lot of Darkrai Terrakion decks. But that is going to wrap this match up. We'll take a little break here as we go to the top 8. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back soon with the next matches.